Ladies and gentlemen, referee Lucas Bukowski has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 49 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by submission due to a rear naked choke, Paddy the Baddie Pimblett.
10 things you didn't know about Paddy Pimblett. You never know what to expect with Paddy the Baddie Pimblett. He has an explosive personality and is always up to something, which can be hard to keep up with. Number 10, he fought at UFC London twice.
Paddy the Baddie Pimblett has the masses paying attention. He's the minus 155 betting favorite tonight.
What's special about fighting twice at UFC London, you ask? Well, it's the fact that the second fight was never actually scheduled. Paddy Pimblett comes off as a pretty straightforward and likeable guy. Of course, this also means Paddy isn't one to back down when faced with a possible altercation. And this is precisely what happened at UFC 204. Paddy got into an altercation with Ilia Topuria in the fight week leading up to his scheduled lightweight bout with Rodrigo Vargas. The short scuffle between the two was captured on camera and posted online. However, the scuffle wasn't surprising for people following the fighters a while. Both fighters have clashed repeatedly online, and their apparent distaste for one another is no secret. The short scuffle was anything but enough evidence to prove who the superior fighter between the two is, and we certainly look forward to seeing them in action against each other in the octagon. However, we may have to wait a while. After all, the Baddie doesn't intend to fight any top 15 contenders for quite a bit. Number 9, he had a quick take on MMA.
The world champion of the world! Unbelievable! What a stunning knockout, Brad. This crowd is going absolutely crazy.
While Paddy's charm and personality are significant factors for his success outside of the octagon, his skills inside are by no means lacking. Paddy Pimblett started MMA at a very young age. It might surprise you that he had his MMA debut on October 6th, 2012, aged 17 at an Olympian MMA championship event. He might have been a teenager, but young Pimblett didn't lose out to the more seasoned veterans of the sport in any way. As a teenager, Pimblett fought 8 times and compiled an outstanding record of 7 wins to a single loss. Only a single man, Cameron Ells, could put the young MMA professional to sleep in his 5th bout with an anaconda choke. Number 8, he doesn't like the Sun newspaper.
Yeah, I knew this would happen. No, just before we get started, if there's any reporters from the Sun in here, don't dare ask me a question. Don't put me in that rag of a newspaper. Just thought I'd get that in. Yeah?
The Sun newspaper isn't the most respected when it comes to news outlets. Their controversial nature has garnered quite a negative reputation from fans and fighters alike. With the news outlets suddenly covering the UFC and springing up to every press conference, Pimblett didn't hold back. At the UFC London press conference, Pimblett directly asked any reporter from the Sun news outlet to refrain from asking him questions. And to be honest, we can't fault him for that. When it comes to the Sun, it takes a lot of work to be a fan, especially after their content change. Number 7, he loves his cheat meals.
It's 5 months. No, how many months?
I'm looking more like, it's just weeks. Like 7 months prego.
Anybody who's had to restrict their diet can feel the baddie on this one. With the diet and training camps, Pimblett has to go through before showing up at a fight night. With the diet and training camps, Pimblett has to go through before showing up at fight night. Anyone would respect having a cheat meal or two. Paddy, however, is a little different. It wouldn't be an overstatement to say that the Paddy you see during fight week is entirely different from the Paddy you'll see during the rest of the year. Pimblett blew up in popularity right after his UFC debut. That said, some of his pictures that followed garnered taunts and criticism from fans over his expanding physique. Paddy, ever the classy gentleman, responded with class and even proceeded to list off some of his favourite cheat meals. Surprise, he's a fan of Chinese food. That said, you'll be left surprised by his next appearance at Fight Week as he gained and shed all those pounds in months. Speaking of appearance, you won't believe why the rising superstar prefers to keep the hairstyle he currently has the way it is. Number 6, his hairstyle.
Yeah, it's not cut. It's, as you can see, it's just a trim, and it'll never get cut. This hair is staying like this. Peace out from Paddy the Baddie.
If there's one thing about Paddy Pimblett you won't forget, it's the hair. Surprisingly, he manages to pull the look off despite some of the more ambitious styles he's sported over the years. The reason why he sports such hairstyles is simple, and it's something that makes us respect the fighter more. Pimblett believes that the essence of being a fighter doesn't lie in looking dangerous and having tattoos. Furthermore, he also quite likes the look he sports, believing that a simple hairdo like the one he sports suits him best. Well, we can't really argue with that, can we? That said, you're in for a surprise with the next entry on this list. Keep watching. Number 5, the Baddie versus the Notorious.
You know me saying, lad, I'm a scouser. We don't get knocked out. Hey, I take that all day.
If there's one fighter Paddy Pimblett is often linked to for his personality, it's Conor McGregor. While comparisons between the two MMA fighters have now become commonplace within the MMA community, not many people know that the Baddie has had a run-in with the Notorious in the past. The event in question occurred in 2017 when McGregor was in Liverpool. It all started when Pimblett posted a video promising to donate $10,000 to an autism organisation if he couldn't defeat McGregor by 2020. The stakes were set even higher when Pimblett attended the Europa League finals while carrying a poster taunting Conor McGregor. The verbal barbs prompted McGregor to confront Paddy by visiting his house. Unfortunately, he visited Paddy's mom's house instead and could not settle his differences with the Scouser. McGregor confirmed Paddy's statements to Twitter shortly after he came out with the story. With 2020 being close to 3 years behind us, it's safe to say that Paddy Pimblett has yet to find a chance to remain faithful to his bet. Pimblett isn't shy of altercations, whether it be superstars like Conor McGregor or Ilia Topuria. However, his following dispute will leave you amused and maybe even shocked. Number 4, social media altercations.
Yeah, lad, I'm back up to 91 kick.
If there's one thing Pimblett has repeatedly demonstrated until now, it's that he isn't afraid to call out anyone. Sometimes the anyone in question doesn't even have to be an MMA fighter. After his victory at UFC London, Paddy the Baddie Pimblett called out his next opponent Mark Zuckerberg, leaving fans both surprised and amused at what he could have done to earn the MMA fighter's ire. Much to our delight, Pimblett quickly explained that his Instagram account had been banned for apparently little to no reason. This wasn't the first time it happened, nor would it be the last. Pimblett would continue to be banned from other social media sites too. However, things have progressed recently as Pimblett has not only gotten his account back, but he's seemingly refraining from re-challenging Zuckerberg. Number 3, Paddy started a YouTube channel.
If you don't pause this video now and subscribe, you're a proper lizard. End of.
Paddy Pimblett runs a YouTube channel and it's pretty popular. Well, maybe the popularity part isn't that surprising, given how explosive Pimblett's UFC debut was. Pimblett's first UFC fight skyrocketed his Instagram followers from the 20,000s to the 200,000s. His YouTube channel ranges from reactions to reviews and his training camp. If you're impressed by Paddy Pimblett and his UFC persona, there's a good chance you'll love his channel and the content he puts out. Number 2, Paddy's contract with Barstool.
I'm watching TV, mind my own business, and Paddy the Baddie bursts on the scene. He's a UFC fighter. He had his UFC debut.
Dave Portnoy's Barstool is an established media company within the MMA community. Let's tune back to Pimblett's first fight within the UFC, and his stellar performance left a deep impression on the media company, which promoted them to sign a contract with him. When asked about the deal in a press conference, Pimblett acknowledged how lucky he was to have signed such a lucrative contract this early into his time with the UFC. While the exact terms of the agreement were never released to the public, the contract is rumoured to be a 7-figure deal that benefits the professional fighter immensely. Speaking of contracts, here's one thing you definitely didn't know about Paddy the Baddie and his interaction with the UFC. Keep watching to find out. Number 1, he turned down a UFC contract.
Top 10 fighter, yeah. You know what I mean? I know that. I know I've still got a lot of fights to do, and before I start fighting anyone like that, I'm going to get a new contract with some extra zeros on there. You know what I'm saying?
Every aspiring professional fighter dreams of making it to the UFC. With Paddy Pimblett, however, the case was a little different. When offered his first UFC contract, Paddy didn't accept the UFC's offer and instead focused more on honing his skills to make sure he reached the next level. At the young age of 21, Pimblett was offered to board the UFC roster. The young fighter, however, didn't think he was up to face the competition of that level and rejected the offer instead. This was the first of many such initiations by the UFC that were all rejected. However, it has all seemed to work out for the better, as he eventually ended up signing, and a mature Pimblett is now considered one of the organisation's best prospects. So, what do you think? Are the new revelations about your favourite MMA fighter shocking and make you see him in a new light? Or do you think these fall in line with his personality? Either case, we'd love to know what you think in the comments below, and yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.